Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. We've had some interesting information. Several websites in the last few days report this, that US are intending to offer 38 used F-16s to Argentina. Argentina have been struggling to get their hands on a modern air force for a while, and this may be a solution. An example here from Air Data News. Proposal was sent by the State Department to the US Congress and also accompanies P-3C Orion Maritime Patrol aircraft. Possible sale would avoid supply of Chinese/Pakistan JF-17 Thunder fighter deal. The proposal is to send 38 used Danish F-16A MLU fighters. Old versions, but upgraded for modern use. 6 of them would be Block 10, and 32 would be Block 15. Assuming the deal goes through and the ex-Danish aircraft get sent to Argentina, welcome to the 1st of April 2024. Argentina attacks the Falklands/Malvinas Islands again, like they did in 1982, this time with their new air force of 38 upgraded F-16As. It's going to be a pretty simple battle. Here is the Falklands Islands, and here is southeast Argentina. They are sending an invasion fleet, a naval force, here to take the islands. Supporting them are their 38 F-16A MLUs, flown by AI, plus some support from humans. We do actually have F-16A MLU in DCS, but we've chosen to use this, the F-16C Block 50. Why is that? Well, it turns out that the F-16A MLUs in use at the moment are actually closer to the Block 50 here than the MLUs in-game, upgraded with the ability to carry AIM-120C AMRAAMs, which is what we have here. Also, AIM-9X high-off boresight modern sidewinder missiles. There are 38 of them, starting about 230 miles away from the RAF Mount Pleasant base on the eastern Falkland Islands. We just saw the loadout, but just again, 4 AIM-120C5 AMRAAMs, 2 AIM-9X. These are the best and most modern missiles that they would be able to use on the MLUs, and fuel tanks because they've got a long way to travel. Rather than having them come down a small corridor, I've decided to attack on a broad front, what I would consider the best possible attack. A huge front of 211 nautical miles. This means that the defenders will be split along that broad front, as well as the 38 AI aircraft, which by the way are all set up to maximum skill level. Are my humans. They have an option, either the Block 50 again for the same reasons, or they can have a nerfed Block 70 with the same weapons as before. I'll leave it to Simba to explain why we've got the option of having the Block 70 as well as the Block 50.
GR and the ACER radar that we made, the coding of it doesn't give a return. FC3 flight models will get it, and it'll just say unidentified radar source. But the core game F-16's RWR does not have that in its profile of RWR returns. So you'll get an audible that you're being locked, and you'll get an audible that there's a pit bull, but nothing visually shows up. So you have no idea of what direction anything's coming from.
Roger. So there's a small weakness in the core game F-16, which means it can't really detect well the radars of the GR aircraft. Happy with that, Simba?
Yep.
So you get the option, you can fly the Block 50 or you can fly the Nerf Block 70. It's not going to make a great deal of difference. And that is the Argentinian attack. Nice and simple. The British have their EWR stations, which will of course detect the incoming 4th gen fighters. But otherwise, in terms of defense, the only thing they've managed to get over in time, because this is a surprise attack pretty much, the British have only had a day to get ready for this, is they've managed to get 1 RAF Typhoon squadron. That's just 12 Typhoons to Mount Pleasant and ready for combat. They've pretty much just landed, refueled, and they're ready to go. They will be AI again, set to max skill level again. They'll have the huge loadout of 8 Meteors, long-range modern weapons, and 2 ASRAAMs. I've had a few complaints now that we're doing unrealistically good loadouts on our fighters, and of course that's true. There will never ever be a Eurofighter or a Typhoon that flies with 8 Meteors. They're too rare, they're too expensive, and you want to see some more realistic loadouts, i.e. worse weapons. That is kind of possible, but it's actually very hard work for us. If you look here as an example, if I right-click, I go to air-to-air weapons, the only thing available is the Meteor and the ASRAAM, and that's because of a lot of the GR aircraft, of which we now maintain 30 of them. It's getting very hard to maintain them. We've removed a lot of the lesser weapons to make it easier for us to maintain these aircraft. They have surprisingly, if you're a mod maker, you'll know what I mean, very difficult to maintain. And so this is what we've done. So we'd have to go back over those 30 aircraft and add loads of old 90s weapons, AIM-120C, AIM-120B and stuff like that. And that, as Drop in the chat will tell you, is an absolute ball ache. I can only tell you how difficult it is. You'll get exploding planes, you'll get wings that don't work, you'll get pylons that don't work properly. So maybe in the future we'll look at that, but for the time being, let's just carry on with what we have. They have a Sky Saber battery to defend Mount Pleasant, and coming in, but they're going to be another day or so, are the Queen Elizabeth Naval Task Force, including 30 F-35B fighters. The F-35s are going to win this battle easy. They're full stealth 5th gen aircraft, and we've done loads of battles showing how good they are against 4th gen, but they're going to take time to get here. So for the time being, all we have is one squadron of Typhoons, as well as that at Port Stanley, just to deconflict between human and AI runways. We have some humans, which will be in the same Eurofighters. And that's it, guys. That's a very simple war game setup. Guys, predictions. As set up here, 38 AI F-16A MLUs played by Block 50s, which is the best analog we have, versus one squadron of Typhoons with proper 2020s weapons. Who's going to win?
God save the king.
Yeah, the Typhoon, it's way more powerful, technologically better weapons, RCS, all that factored in. But just because it's lopsided, that does not necessarily make this a bad purchase. Because you got to look at, when you're purchasing equipment, it's your surrounding area. I don't see Argentina trying to go head-to-head against the British anytime in the future. So they don't really have a need to try and get to a technological equivalent to the British. It's really their surrounding area, what are their threats, and this is a more than capable platform for what they're dealing with, the things that this airframe will provide for their region.
Yeah, that does bring up the question. I was wondering when I read this article about F-16s going to Argentina, I was like, ooh, interesting. And I do think it's more the Americans trying to say, don't buy Chinese, we'll help you with some older stuff.
That's exactly right. It's all geopolitics. It is nothing to do with Argentina, really. It's the US trying to step on China's toes. It's geopolitics, which is fine.
As for this battle, I do wonder about, again, Swarm. While the Meteors are capable, that's a lot of F-16s for 12 Typhoons to hopefully get every Meteor to hit the same, different targets. So it may be a point where the F-16s just outnumber the Typhoons in the end, which will cause the Typhoons to be swatted. But hopefully the King's Air Force can take them out.
Roger Bird, I've debugged it, but I've absolutely not run it through, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm extremely excited to find out. Stand by. Welcome into the battle, viewers. On the Argentinian side, we have the Yanks, strangely enough, Simba and Strider, and the Brits/Caribbean Brits, Drop and Bird on the Eurofighter. Say hello, everyone. Right.
Hello, identify as Lionel Messi because he's now an American, playing in the American football system. So
thank you.
Oh, and he's from Argentina. That's right.
Oh, he's from Argentina. I get it now. Lionel Messi. Right. Thank you for that, Simba. No one knows what you're talking about, by the way. Right, viewers, let's have a quick look around before the boom boom starts. Here we have the AMLUs flown by AI. Simba's in the block 70. Strider at the block 50. Hello, boys.
hello.
Go and have a look at the ye old Brits. We have boys, Drop and Bird in the Eurofighters. Hello, boys.
I say, what not, old chap?
They are so friggin' British. And finally, we have the AI down at Mount Pleasant. We do actually have, in real life, 4 full-time Eurofighters, Typhoon, stationed at Mount Pleasant. The old block, or old tranche ones, so they're not modern like these. The ones we use here are the most modern of the modern Eurofighters. The old ones that they have here protecting Falklands full-time, pretty much. In fact, they're in the right livery today. They wouldn't have these super duper weapons. It will just be older weapons, I'd imagine. Well, we've got some talking time. I believe at the moment, before this deal goes through, all Argentina has is a bunch of modernized Skyhawks, A4 Skyhawks, about 20 of them. The ones that survived the 1982 war, they went to America after that and got modernized with relatively modern air-to-air radars. That's all they have, but not very much to tease the existing Falklands Squadron. Right, my boys are up.
I'll take the south if you want to take the north, old chap.
Roger, roger.
Wow, they've gone proper World War II comms, viewers. I suppose I better start speaking like that. What, Charlie?
Strider, the tea is wet.
Huh. Oh, the moon. Distance between fronts now under 200 nautical miles, and the first AI are taking off. Today, all of the aircraft have GR flight models. We've made our own flight model for the Eurofighter, and we've made our own flight model for the... Oh no, the F-16s. These are core game F-16s. So Mr. Wagner made this flight model, guys.
I've got a beloved cat flight model.
Yes, you've got one of my flight models, haven't you? Why are they doing this weird manoeuvring, viewers? It's just because they're getting into an attack formation. They've spotted the Eurofighters are getting airborne, and they're getting in whatever their attack formation, some kind of chainsaw, I'd imagine.
Getting returns from 098 Strider.
Wow, look at Simba. You are high, not as high as Elo, Simba, but you are moderately high.
098.
I get high, get high, get high, get high.
Look, it shows that I've done the modelling pretty well. Here's a Block 70, viewers, ignore the name. Here's the Block 50 from Core Game. And look, they're both flat out. They're both going at basically the same speed. So that shows that my flight models are getting pretty realistic now, which is good. Distance between fronts now of 164 nautical miles. And we should have our boys punching through the clouds right now. Here they go. The weapons are 2020's Meteors on the Eurofighter with a range of over 100 nautical miles. On the Argentinian F-16A MLUs, it's the best they could hope to purchase, which would be the AIM 120C5 from the mid-90s. Maximum range of about 45 miles, maybe 50, an absolute cinch. Only about half of that of the Meteor. And that's the difference between 90s missiles and 2020's missiles, but the Meteor pays a price, literally. Your tax dollars or tax sterling, and they're very hard to maintain as well. Which is why we don't have many of them. If you go and look at a Eurofighter flying real QRA, intercepting real bears over the North Sea, pretty much a daily thing at the moment, they don't go up with Meteors. They go up with AIM 120Bs from the early 90s. It's amazing, but that's the reality of it.
Girl's got contacts on the scope.
What's the role play for the Argentinians? Well, just to fight to the death, viewers. But it would be to go in to smash up the radars, to smash up the Sky Saber site, take out or capture Mount Pleasant. Basically, just get rid of the Eurofighters first of all. Distance between fronts now, 111 miles. Not long now before we see the first Meteors out, viewers.
Getting some weird sounds. I believe somebody's trying to lock me.
No, sounds about right.
Yep. All you're going to get is audio tones.
First Meteor out.
3, 4 of them out.
Good luck, Argentinians. Viva la Bretagne. Here we go. 6 Meteors out.
Spared Foxington 3.
Exactly what they're designed for, viewers. Smash them out at 100 miles. Let them guide themselves or on the data link. Return home for a cup of tea. Rearm and go and do it all again. I've not told them to RTB in this case. I've told them to fire their missiles at their best range, then go in for dogfights, because in this case they would need to stop this attack. They can't just go back and RTB. Of course, they have a ramjet air-breathing engine. In real life, it's throttleable. It will cruise about Mach 1 and then speed up to about Mach 4, 3 at the end. We can't do that, so it's on throttle all the way. R1 is.
Drops in parameters.
Foxtrot. Right?
52 Meteors out, over $100 million. His F-16s aren't going to know what hit them. At the moment, they don't know they're being fired on because they're being fired in TWIS. or strictly on the data link, so they won't get a warning until those meteors are about 10 miles away, where they turn their own seeker heads on. 69, 70 meteors fired. Oh, even these guys back here are firing now. Theoretically, how powerful the RAF could be if they had enough meteors. First meteors going in. First Argentinian MLUs. Boom! Very hard missile to dodge, as we know on our dogfights and whatnot that we do. Great. Smashington. 2 F-16s down. More in all kinds of trouble.
Coming home for supper.
Smashy, smashy, boom, boom going on, viewers. 5 down. Oh, I can't see all the kills. There's just too many going on. Now, the F-16s, viewers, are no slouches. They are excellent kinematic fighters, and they're set to the maximum skill level. I can't make them any better, which is showing you how good the missile is. It's retained its energy incredibly well.
One missile dodged.
Well done. 16 down. Jesus H. Corbett. Oh. Humans can respawn. As per my normal rules, AI cannot. The humans, feel free to get another 24 down. What the hell? Wowee.
Out.
Friggin' beautiful tech going on here, viewers. 28 F-16s down. Smashington just caught out in the open. Nothing to hide behind. Meteors smashing into their beautiful Argentinian faces. 32 down. A giant freaking cost. Wow, this is... That was not... I knew it was going to be a barrage at the beginning, but not this good. This is amazing. 110 missiles fired, 34 F-16s taken down.
I don't think we need to get back airborne there, Drip, old boy.
That is... I haven't run it through, but I did a little bit of testing, and it never ran like that in single-player viewers. That is amazing. Wow, finally a response at whatever miles that is. An A120C has finally got a... Oh, of course not. Wow.
Could have done this in our Harriers.
Well, it does appear so, doesn't it?
Bring back the Phantom for a good old... challenge for them.
You do need a challenge, don't you? Right, well, Simba's somehow survived all of those meteors. Let's see how many meteors planes, aircraft have. Okay. Good news for Simba is the front line no longer have any meteors, and some F-16s have actually survived the initial barrage of 110. I think that's pretty much all the meteors fired, because ASRAMs are being fired now. Now, this is an interesting missile. It's Britain's version of the AIM-9X, which is developed really for different reasons if you go into history, completely different reasons. It has a longer range than the AIM-9. Okay, what's left of Argentina is fighting back. Do not see that sucker coming. Smash! How problematic for him. Finally, a Typhoon's going to get hit. Nope, dodged it. Finally, a Typhoon's going to get hit. Yes. 1 Typhoon down, 36 MLUs down, and the front line of Eurofighters are finally starting to get beaten. Simba smashing in his Nerf Box 70. Good shooting techs. But that Eurofighter is so fast! So fast! Or is it? No, he's outrun it. Or has he? I don't know. That's touch and go. Wow, he has beaten it. Oh, but Simba's just put a fast one in.
Good job there, Biggles. Keep it going.
Smash! Splash Simba, well done. But the problem,
oh dear boy.
He's used all his missiles up, look. That's the problem with the F-16 over there. Eurofighter carries twice as many friggin' missiles. Fight's still going on, viewers. Fight's still going on. 3 Eurofighters have been hit. Simba's got a little thing after him, but he knows how to beat it. He's dragged it down into the thick, cold air, where Meteor just doesn't perform beautifully well down here. So now it becomes subsonic. Oh, can he beat it? I don't know if he can. It's finally off burn. That time when you want the underdog to win. Well done, Simba. He has squarely beaten that Meteor, but another one's coming in. Oh, the second Meteor's a lot faster. No, he's duped it. He's duped it. Simba's beaten 2 Meteors. Now, that's rare. But an ASRAM. 4 Eurofighters down. It's going to hit its mark.
on.
God damn you, Simba! What is up? No, he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit. That was the best kill sequence I think I've ever. That was good. Oh, he's still alive. No, he's not.
Oh dear, Messi can't die.
At a closing velocity of 1 knot at the end. Oh, he's definitely gonna die now. He's got the hob tracking him. Die, Simba! Just friggin' die! How friggin' time? Jesus Christ. Right, well done. 5 Eurofighters down. What's going on? What happened, viewers, is they used their Meteors, and their Meteors is what keeps them safe. If they're using AMRAAMs, if they're using ASRAAMs, they've got no advantage over the F-16 at all, really. And it becomes a 50-50. And the GR rules say you guys can carry on. I mean, tactically, the battle's been won by the Blues, but we're allowed to carry on.
But dear old chap, the runway suddenly looks a little bit smaller from up here.
We found a small runway at Port Stanley. We bought that in 1982, you know.
I mean, there's always San Carlos if you want to try there.
I'm going to talk about why we saw what we saw, viewers. I need to kind of work it out myself. It's because of the long-range modern radars of the Eurofighter, the ability to fire them based on the data link provided by the EWRs, at least as modelled here. The missiles are fired at 110 miles, and they're extremely good missiles. And the F-16s, heavily loaded, just couldn't do enough to evade them at 36,000 feet. Humans were much more smart. They were down on the deck. They knew meteors were going to be fired at them, and they knew how to beat meteors. And Simba beat probably 5 or 6. Strider beat a bunch of them. So it's a tech difference. It's 1980s MLUs that modernized into the 1990s with 1990s weapons, AIM-120C5s versus 2020s very expensive, very potent missiles and 2020s radars. And that's the difference that we saw there. And to be fair to the AI, for once, you used them all correctly. Often AI do stupid things, as you've all seen before. This time, they did pretty well. Right, anyway, drop. Land the plane.
North.
I can't get
Jesus
shit on my
Christ.
radar.
Worst landing ever.
Ah,
We'll
I
see
saw
you
there.
there.
Yes.
We'll cut that
I
out.
see you lit up the runway for me there, boy.
I turned the lights on for you, old chap.
Thank you.
Yes, what that man said.
I can see him with my eyes. I got nothing on radar.
What are you in, core game? Or you're in core
Okay,
game?
now I finally got him.
Yeah, you've got the old APG-68 in that. I don't know.
Try to Fox
I'll tell you why it is, viewers. It's because we've modelled this at a relatively low radar cross-section, 1.5 metres squared. It's not super low, but it is enough to mess that APG up a bit. It would usually detect fighters about 35 miles. It detected this guy at, 20 miles. So that was the difference that you saw there, viewers. And look, he's got no missiles, so he's on full 1.5 metres RCS. So that was an interesting showing low observability there. Good shot by Strider, but he's got men all over his beautiful bod. In real life, viewers, these Eurofighters would obviously RTB, but I've told them to fight to the death. I just want to see that today.
Even though the F-16 radar is not as powerful with this RCS, once it can actually see it, it's well within maximum effectiveness of the missile.
As you just saw.
So, yeah, so being able, once you can get a lock, you can get one off the rail, it becomes dangerous.
Yeah. To be fair, these old 90s missiles, viewers, in their kill range are good. I think they're even modelled better than our 2020s missiles in terms of kill effectiveness. It's just the range that they miss. So he's got them again. Yeah, probably at 20 miles he fired at. And Eurofighter's a good plane. It can dodge and everything, but these missiles fired within 20 miles are very hard to dodge, as you all know from core game. Everyone has access to these missiles. That said, he's frigging outrun it, or has he? Oh, has he? He's doing the Eurofighter whip. No, it's going to die. It's going to die. Good shot. Costs so far, viewers, 3.3. Well, actually, no, the costs are irrelevant because we're using Block 50s at the new price. They will be buying the MLUs second-hand, much cheaper price.
Anyone ready for a history lesson? So when the Eurofighters went out to the Falklands, the Argentinians actually using their current fighters did actually go out towards the Falklands just to see how quick the Eurofighter response would be. All 4 of them, or how many they launched. And normally what would happen is they would get airborne, go supersonic, and the Argentinian aircraft would soon turn and run as quickly as they could.
Right, and report the data.
Correct.
So they knew how the Brits would respond. Yeah, absolutely. The Russians do it to us all the time in Blighty. Good dodge.
One of us is back home safe there, boy.
Oh, no one beats ASRAAM! No one beats ASRAAM. Suck it, Strider. Oh, but he got my guy. No, and he dodged it. That Eurofighter is friggin' badass Eurofighter. Right, Simba, it's all up to you versus a bunch of old junked out Eurofighters that are out of fuel. That was a great example of what I was going to say earlier, but I never got around to. The ASRAAM viewers was, in a way, kind of the British answer to the AMRAAM. We developed the ASRAAM as a kind of stopgap until we got the AMRAAM, and we wanted it a medium range, an IR guided missile like the AIM-9. M, I think it was around at the time, but we wanted it to be the range of an AMRAAM. AIM-120A or B was around at the time. So we developed this. It's kind of like an AIM-9 on steroids. Because we built so many of them and never shot them in anger, we started converting them into SAMs. Skysaber, as you see here, I've actually had to put NASAMs in because we don't have Skysaber, but it is that missile retooled as a SAM. We also have it in our ships. In the Type 45s, they will be having mushroom farms of Sea Scepter, which is just an ASRAAM with refitted bits and such. Right, managed to send me got lock and fire, but it's a bit out of parameters for the AIM-120C, at about 30 something miles, but it will posture him cold.
36 miles, Mach 1.4 at 40k. It's got enough to at least put him defensive and me to get into a better kill probability.
Like I said, these old 90s weapons, although they don't have the 100-mile range facility, you know, they're actually very hard to dodge, as we're kind of seeing here, viewers. You've got him. 3 more Eurofighters. 2 are at fuel and 1's aggressing. And the one aggressing is friggin' super... I need a British name. Rupert. Super Rupert. No, Algernon. Algernon's coming for you, Simba. And he has... 1 friggin' ASRAAM. The final showdown, Viewington, Wilmington, Boomingtons, if that's what your real name is, which I've decided it is. And we've got the AIM-120C off first. Now, what's Algernon going to do? Come on, Algernon. Everyone wants to see you do well. Missiles tracking Algernon. Come on, Algernon! Ah, damn you, Simba. Suck it. Oh, he survived! He friggin' survived! Algernon! Best Algernon! Game on. Missile didn't affect him for some reason. Kind of a Simba problem, to be honest. Oh, that was a bit unfair, Simba, I'll admit, because your missile did blow him up, but he didn't die. And he's now giving a wing waggle in celebration. I think he's just broken. That's probably why I beat Strider as well. Sometimes the models break down, viewers. Never mind. Right, as far as the battle went, though, it was a thrashing. The British thrashed the guys. Just better tech. Simple as that. We've seen it a trillion times as we've modelled it. Against what Bird said, the Horde did not win this time. We just had enough good missiles to keep them at bay, and, critically, they were used well by the AI.
Messi may have a gold boot, but he can't fly.
Ding, ding.
Oh, what are you talking about? I dodged a lot of your crap. But anyways, I think proof of concept, right? What we talked about. Technology superiority played in the favor of the British, but just because it says MLU and it's been upgraded to basically Block 50 standards, it's still a very potent airframe. And if you don't respect what it can do, you can find yourself on the wrong end of it.
And one other thing, AI are pretty dumb, as you know, viewers, in-game. They flew, the Argentinians flew to make it easy for the Meteors. They flew high and fast, which Meteors love, but they're just too stupid to do anything else. To humans, like I said before, went down and low, but the Meteors hate. If they're all humans, then this would have probably been a different tale, to be honest, but I don't have that many friends, so that's the way it is.
For the ferry, it's a long route from Argentina to the Falklands, so they'd have to fly high and have tanker support.
Oh, completely.
To get here.
That's why
F-16.
That's why I gave them 3 tanks, because they need that to get here. I think they could probably make it on their own. It's only 300 miles. They would still have fighting fuel, but yeah, they would have to be heavily loaded with tanks, which is how I modelled them. Yeah.
With this now purchase possibly going through, it'd be interesting to see if the RAF have a bigger force of Typhoons down here for this reason. Because remember, they only have 4 based there at the moment. Which, if we ran, I think 4 versus 38, it'd be a completely different outcome.
Yeah, I think if it does happen, they'll probably move half a squadron of high tranche ones or more. Maybe a full squadron will be moved down here. I hope you enjoyed it, and bye-bye.